How's everybody doing today? Today we're unpacking. Yesterday we did a show on cable TV called Keepin Country Strong, and we took some of the snakes onto the show, did a little educational demonstration for them, and today we're unpacking them. I just want to show you how we travel with our snakes safely, and show you some of the snakes we took and explain why. You notice we keep, first of all, I love these containers here. They got handles on them, but if you notice, these are marked danger venomous snakes. My blue container here always has venomous snakes in it when we travel. I like this, very simple. This holds 3 coolers, and right now it's holding also my bite-proof hex armor gloves. I have a pair here that I use for my wife. I'll put those back up on the shelf. Then I have my pair you see me using all the time, and then somewhere in here down at the bottom should be my favorite stick. Let's pull the coolers up and out. Here's my favorite stick. And then on the top, well, the coolers here, again, I've explained this before, but the lids, these coolers are hollowed, so when you drill just through one side, you can drill through the bottom, through the other side, offset of the holes on the top, so you can get air ventilation through here, but there's no way a snake can bite you through one of the air holes. Then I write on there, which is kind of terrible looking, I wrote venomous snakes on the top, but on each one of these, I tape a piece of paper telling me what's inside of each one of these at that particular time. It's W Western Diamondback Rattlesnake is what I'm going to find in this one right now, and which is what I have open up over here. Now, what I'm going to do first, though, is that I have to find the key. Of all these million keys, only one of these keys fits, and it should open all 3 locks. So unfortunately, I haven't been educated enough to mark which one of the keys is the key that opens up all these. So I have to go one key at a time to locate it. Again, you think I would learn to go, oh, let me mark the key so I know which key does it. That would be too simple. So that doesn't happen. So I go key by key by key here, wasting my time and yours, but that's alright. Again, we just came back from doing a cable show. It's on cable access, Time Warner Cable Access, Channel 23. It's called Keepin Country Strong. Normally they do a lot of music on the show, but my friend, a good friend of mine, Carl Richards and Benzie, they're the ones that host the show, and they like to have me come on there every once in a while. Carl Richards, he has his own band. Plays just about everything, a little more country than anything else. And I too am a country type of person, so we get along great. There's the key. Alright, we found the key. This one should open up every one of these, which we're going to do right now. Alright, and the last one here. I could avoid this if I wanted to have individual locks on every one of these. I could just have simply a lock on this. When this closes, I can put a padlock through here, but I feel better putting a lock on each one of these. So now right here what I got is a Western Diamondback Rattlesnake in here, and I'm sure he's quite annoyed with me about now. I'll take this one, set it off to the side. Okay, now again, I've showed you many times before, if you can hook 2 coils of a rattlesnake that's coiled up, he'll stay on the stick, and that would be terrific, but if he's not, he's going to climb right off that stick. So let's see what we got here. Now I always also open up the coolers with the stick, and there he is, the coolers. Remember, the cooler was sideways, so he was sideways. So he's down in there, he's a little aggravated with him. You can hear him rattling now. He's not a happy camper, and he is not coiled up where I'm going to get him to ride the stick. So what I want to do in this case is I want to hook him, get in there, kind of grab his body a little bit like that. There he comes up. Grab the front part of his body and his tail, support both if I can. Move him over here and just gently put him back in his enclosure. Also today I was smart enough, I know if you've seen some of the other videos, his hide was one of the few hides that I didn't have holes drilled in the top so I could take my hemostats and pick it up. I have drilled those holes in the top now, so make it a lot simpler to work with. And what we're going to do now is simply lock him up. And he's back in his enclosure and he's ready to go. We'll just slide him over here onto his shelf. And the next one we took with us, we took a Western Diamondback rattlesnake because rattlesnakes are obviously cool. But I have the albino version of him, so I wanted to show people the albino version and the natural coloration of this type of rattlesnake. And then I also ended up milking him, the natural colored Western Diamondback. Milked them. I like to do that at the shows a lot of time to show the people that these snakes are hot. They do have their venom. They're not devenomized or venomoids, as you want to call them. All my venomous snakes are completely hot. I don't believe in doing a venomoid. If you want a hot snake, you want to deal with hot snakes and deal with hot snakes. You know, don't be a wimp and have them devenomized. I mean, it's like declawing a cat. I don't believe in that either. If I have a cat, I want that cat to be able to have a means of defending itself. Okay, now this is the albino Western Diamondback. Again, I took this one to show the difference between the two, and we're just going to use the hook to open up the container, and he is right here, and he's not a happy camper. He's definitely going to give us a little bit of an attitude here. There we go. Get him up too, get him out, bring him right over to his enclosure, and he's going to climb right in there. One of the things I was a little leery about taking him to the show was that he had just eaten a mouse, and so he had it in his stomach. I was a little leery that he may throw it up, but he was really good about it. He kept it down. And snakes, after you feed them, generally you should leave them be for at least a day or two so that they can digest their food properly. If they get stressed out, they have a tendency to want to throw up their food. Again, when a snake is eating, he's got his mouth full, he's kind of defenseless. And also, when a snake has eaten food, he's got his belly full. Sometimes he can't move as fast as he would like to, and that again causes the snake to want to regurgitate its food so that it can defend itself better. And now the next one we got to put back, and this is the one I take to almost every show that I do. This is my Egyptian cobra. Egyptian cobra is an excessively nasty, aggressive snake that I have. Always trying to bite. Always has his mouth open, hoods up very nicely, great display animal, and I use him constantly for my shows because of that purpose. He's just like he knows what he has to do for the show, and he's ready to do it. Now, it's not time for me to feed or to clean out the Egyptian cobra, but he has gone to the bathroom in his water bowl here, so he always will clean out a water bowl, or if they go to the bathroom in their cage. I don't make them wait till the actual day that I'm supposed to clean that out. I'll take care of that whenever I see it. I'm going to make sure they all have fresh, clean water. Like I said, when I do it with the tubs, I give them very little water though, because I don't want the humidity to go up way too high. So sometimes when I open up a tub, the water may be evaporated, but the snake has only been without water for possibly a day or two, which does not hurt them in the least. Now this again, like I said, is my gypsy cobra. With anything his normal way is he is going to be very mad. I'm going to come out fighting, and we are going to basically show you how we deal with that. It's not a big deal. This is what he does, and this is what makes him so popular at the shows. And again, here he is. Let's see if you can see him. He's got his mouth open here. There he comes. There he comes. We'll get him up here in a minute. I don't have a good hook on him here. He's kind of S himself over a little bit, which is alright. See, he has his mouth open, but he's not actually going after the hand that's holding him. He will go after this hand. This is why he makes such an excellent snake for the shows. And we're just going to move him right down in here to his enclosure. And the thing with him though is he is never going to settle down. This is just what he does. You see he's still all flared up here, hissing at me, striking at the glass. Now we're going to put the lock on his cage, get him over on the shelf. Alright, those are the venomous snakes that we took with us. These are the non-venomous snakes that we took. The non-venomous snake part, we kind of worked on an adoption theme here. Because as you know, we do adoptions and rescues. I've been doing that for quite a few years now. Get a lot of snakes in that people don't want. A lot of times because they're moving, people get sick and injured. They can't take care of them no more. Their kids are going to college, so they give them up to us. And the way I travel with most non-venomous snakes is Rubbermaid containers or containers like this, put rubber bands around them. Snakes really prefer to be in a container that they don't get, sloshed around in, back and forth. Makes them feel very insecure. This snake here, this is actually an albino gopher snake. This snake was given up because the person, I believe it was their child who went to college and the parents did not want to take care of it, so they brought it to me. This snake is one of the snakes that we do have up for adoption. A very cool snake. We charge $30 for an adoption fee. That $30 is for any snake, no matter what the price of that snake may be. We've actually adopted out $3,000 snakes for $30. Sometimes the snake has a higher cost because we have to go pick it up, or there's something wrong with it. There's things that make it cost more to us. So sometimes we have to raise the fee up a little bit. But normally we hold to that $30 adoption fee. Like I said, this guy is really cool. He's not a biter, and he's up for adoption if anybody's interested. We do not ship snakes though, so you have to be able to pick it up in New York. We're in Middletown, New York. We're an hour outside of the city. So if that is something you wish to do, let me know. Keep in mind, you guys see a snake you like, you're like, well, I don't live close to the city. It's something called a road trip, guys. Road trips are great. I used to take them all the time to pick up all different kinds of snakes that I was interested in. So you get a buddy of yours, you head out on the road, travel 4 or 5 miles, or 4 or 5 hours sometimes, get a nice cool snake, and make a day of it. Alright, so that's the first one of the snakes we took there. Like I said, they're very cool snakes that people give up for adoption. And I don't, if you have a snake and you want to give it up, I don't judge anybody for whatever reason they want to give it up for. I just want to see the best thing happen to the snake that's going to happen. The next snake we got, this is a totally awesome colored snake. This snake actually was driven down to me from Philadelphia, PA. Very cool snake. So, it's a form of a morph of a corn snake, actually. Gorgeous snake, nice healthy size and everything. The guy drove it all the way from Philadelphia down to me so that we could take care of it. Again, very cool looking snake, makes a great pet. Awesome coloration, I love this. The part of this snake that makes it kind of a morph is the fact that it doesn't have any dark colors in the patterns. There's no browns and blacks and stuff like that. It's the orange and reds that are showing through right now. Great snake. Again, anybody's interested, he's up for adoption as well. You're not going to see snakes like this up for $30 anywhere. These particular corn snakes are great pet snakes. The only thing I find with corn snakes is baby corn snakes are extremely hard to get to eat. And being that said, a lot of baby corn snakes end up starving themselves to death, unfortunately. So I don't like telling a lot of people to buy a baby corn snake for the simple fact is you could have a lot of problems getting that snake to eat for you. So buying one that's a little bit bigger, a little juvenile, is a much better idea. The next snake we got up here, that's for adoption, is, well, not for this particular one, I should say. I don't want to say this guy's up for adoption. I'm actually keeping this guy. He did come in as a rescue, but I'm keeping this guy for myself because of his size. Beautiful snake. One of the most popular snakes you're going to find in the pet trade. This is a normal ball python. He's got a decent size to him, as you can see here. Get him out of this box. He's got a nice size to him. Great temperament, great for shows, letting people hold him, stuff like that. So this one here has found his forever home right with us. These guys are wonderful. But the ball pythons now, there's so many morphs, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm not into morph ball python. I could be wrong, but I think there's like over 3,000 different morphs now. They just keep creating more and more and more. But I fall in love with the natural ones. I mean, this guy is beautiful, great personality. You know, he's one of the cool snakes that I really like. Most people don't know that ball pythons, which are these here, are also called royal pythons. That's more their real name, royal pythons, because their Latin name, which is Python regis, which means regal or royal. And they were given that name because Cleopatra actually used to like to wear these type of snakes as jewelry, wrap them around her neck or wrap them around her wrist. So that's where they got that name from, python, royal python. But we call them a ball python because when they get defensive, they will curl up into a nice tight ball and hide their heads so that nothing can attack them, and they'll stay that way until they feel that the threat has gone away. Sorry guys, I'm walking in circles around here today, but trying to remember, trying to find where each one of these guys' containers was. Also, I think I'm fighting off a cold, so my mind ain't is exactly where it normally is. The snake here is a king snake, and a really cool snake. It's a speckled king snake. King snakes are great eaters. There he is. They are terrific eaters, and that's where they get a reputation sometimes of being very aggressive snakes. And they're not aggressive snakes, they just have a very aggressive feeding response most of the time, which is great because you don't have to worry about trying to get them to eat. Their response is normally when you open a container, see if there's food available. And once they realize there's no food being offered, then they settle right down. King snakes eat other snakes, so when you're holding a king snake, you do smell like their food. So if they're hungry, a lot of times they'll just smell you. They'll push their mouth against your skin, and then they'll open up and bite you. They won't even strike because they think they found food. And we got one last snake. that I took yesterday, and actually they were kind of disappointed. Again, I've been on this show quite a few times, and every time I go there I take my big Burmese python. A couple times I've had an albino. This time I have a normal one. Usually they range in the range of 12, 14 feet, but today I decided that I wasn't going to take him. I was actually just being lazy, so I took, again, and we're doing an adoption theme for this show, so I took this guy here, a rescued boa constrictor, and this guy's name is Mojo. And Mojo is very, very docile. He was a little, and still is a little bit on the thinner side. He needs to be fattened up, but he came in that way. We're going to make sure he does get nice and fat he'll fatten up for us. Mojo is really cool. Again, just an owner was moving, couldn't keep him, wanted to make sure he went to a good home. So for right now, Mojo is with us. He was a rescue, but he is not up for adoption at this point. We're going to keep him and use him for our shows. Okay, so I hope you guys liked what we showed you today. Like I said, it was just an unpacking from one of our shows. Show you a couple of the different snakes that we have. If you like what you saw, click that like button. Let us know that you like what we're doing. If you want to see more of what we do, please hit that subscribe button, because we love to have subscribers. This way it'll notify you every time we put up a new video. If you want us to do anything special for you, if you got a theme or want to see some of the snakes do something, or how we feed them, or whatever you want to do, please feel free to let us know. We got plenty of contact information at the end of the video. Our website, if you're watching us from our website, you already know what it is, but a lot of you watch us from YouTube. So our website is www.jerrythesnakeman.com. If you're watching us from the website, you want to find more of our videos, you can go to YouTube and search Jerry the Snake Man, one word. That'll bring up our channel for you, and you can see what we got there. And we just want to thank you guys for taking the time out and watching these videos, and getting a lot of great responses from you guys, a lot of nice comments. There's like hardly any dislikes anymore on what we produce. So I mean, you guys are great fans, and we want to just thank you for watching us. So as my motto basically is, just keep it real, guys. Have a good day.